So can writing improve? That's the question. If we believe that it cannot be, then we shouldn't be at the Institute. I think those of us who are facilitators are here in the belief that it can help, and those of you who are students, participants, must believe that you can improve, otherwise you wouldn't have applied, right? So at least we are starting at the starting line, to bring the racing analogy again, we believe that it can improve. So here I have the graph. So I have a graph here that's starting out at the bottom with the illiterate. You cannot read or write. And here's the master author, the absolute best scientific writer in the planet. And I will claim that it is a curve that is asymptotically reaching something that will never be reachable. Right? And that there's a very, very fast and steep curve at the beginning, but most importantly, that is being plotted as a function of time. So it takes time. Now, all of you guys are scientists, and you recognize that depending on what scale I use, here and here, I can make this graph look vertical at any point. So for the super master author, there's still somebody down there that you might see is here. But to that master writer, that person writes awful, right? And it is the movement along this line, it will always feel like you can get better. There's always room for improvement, and that improvement can always be huge. Now, the key thing is that it's time. How much time, doesn't matter, but time. Now, time there will be, and all is really relative. Where each one of you lies today is where you are, and there's room for improvement. So some of you may already be master writers, and you came here to get a little more exposure. Some of you might, well, hopefully, none of us at the very bottom, but some of you might be, you may not want to admit it, but some of you may be somewhere in this curve down here. And the one thing I say, just like running, if you haven't practiced and you just are told, look, to run is easy, just run fast. And you're going to get tired and you're going to end up exhausted. Similarly, with writing. You have to practice, you have to recognize that there's need for practice and that the progress will come with time. Now, having said that, let me then pose, what do we do? How do we as scientists teach? How do we teach this concept that is so important to our communication? And I have to say that by and large, with the exception, Steve said there's lots of places in the internet, but in terms of the training that PhDs and postdocs get to write has what I refer to as the deep end approach. And that is, basically, you're expected to already know how to write when you arrive to graduate school, and you are thrown off the deep end because everybody believes you know how to swim. Unfortunately, you guys are not ducks. You don't know how to swim the sea of writing. And the reality, when you get to be a little bit gray hair, you recognize that most people, when they start, don't know how to write. So we need ways to teach how to write. Now, from the perspective of the students, you might ask, what do the students want? So not only do we not teach how to write, but by and large, what the students want these days, probably always wanted that, was something easy. You know, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, but I think that people want more and more the kit. They want something that is easy to follow. For example, I'll just give you you want a recipe. 10 grams tryptone, 5 grams yeast extract, 5 grams sodium chloride, 1 liter water, autoclave, and you're going to have LB. And you want writing to be just like that. You want, and perhaps the reason you came here is because you think there is a formula. A formula that says 4 figures, 8 paragraphs, you submit, and you're going to get your P&AS paper. Well, I crossed that arrow because it's not that way. We can only provide direction. Writing, in the end, is not a formula. So the beauty of the next 3 days is that you're going to get 6 different perspectives of what it means to write. How do you proceed? Bits of advice. But in the end, between practice, doing it yourselves over and over again, and finding your own style, that is what's going to do it. So no, there is no magic formula. You just have to do it, practice writing, and then you will improve. As I said from the curve, that's guaranteed, but there is no formula. So thank you very much.